Welcome to another edition of Crypto News Today, powered by Bitcoin Magazine. I'm Vin Narayanan, that's David Bailey. We are here at Money 20 in Las Vegas. We're in the Las Vegas Sands Expo Center, actually, just outside of the Venetian, where the show is in full swing. We got things that are going on the show floor, we got sessions that are going on. It's actually pretty energetic, pretty exciting. David, what do you think about the show so far?
Well, it's been a great show, but to be honest, most of the action seems to be happening outside of the show floor in private meeting rooms and over cups of coffee. So there's a lot of exciting partnerships and developments that are going on behind the scenes, I guess. That's what I'm enjoying.
Yeah, that's sort of the way it works at a lot of these conferences. You have the show that's going on, and you have some development work that's going on at the show, and people browsing, looking for new stuff. But a lot of the action's behind the scenes, where people are having meetings, making deals, making connections, cementing relationships.
It's where the real business happens, that's right.
Yeah, it's where the real business happens. One of the things that's been interesting as we've been walking around, not just the show floor, but the hallways out here, is we're seeing a lot of different uses for blockchain technology.
Yeah, there's a couple exciting companies that I'm looking forward to talking to today that are doing some really innovative things that hopefully are going to change the game for the finance world.
Yeah, you and I have both run into some interesting people using blockchain technology in different ways, and we're going to hear from them now.
I'm here with Jeremy Gardner from Blockchain Capital. Jeremy, before we go into what Blockchain Capital is and what they're doing, tell me a little bit about your background and how you ended up there.
Sure. So I got into the Bitcoin space almost 2 years ago now when I founded the College Cryptocurrency Network, which began as a hodgepodge of Bitcoin clubs at MIT, Stanford, and the University of Michigan, and then expanded to over 200 schools, every habitable continent, over 50 countries now. I ended up actually dropping out of school and founding a project called Augur, which is a decentralized prediction market platform, which is really, if you want to think about it simply, is just unstoppable peer-to-peer betting that predicts the future. Now I'm focused on blockchain capital, working as an entrepreneur in residence and venture associate, sourcing deals and kind of working my way through the ecosystem, funding the best ideas.
So I noticed that Augur is a blockchain company, not a Bitcoin-specific company, and the venture fund you're at is Blockchain Capital. So it seems like an emerging trend to focus on blockchain over Bitcoin. Do you have an opinion on that, and do you think that trend's going to continue?
I mean, it's a trend now, but I was unpopular when I was saying blockchain, not Bitcoin, a year and a half ago. I mean, I was, at the outset, really sold on the idea of blockchain as this immutable way to transfer value anywhere in the world with an internet connection. I wasn't really sold on the whole cryptocurrency element nearly as much. So it's been reaffirming for me to see that kind of view vindicated, especially in the mainstream by the big banks, large institutions, tech companies. And yes, I think that trend will continue because I think Bitcoin as money is just the tip of the iceberg. I mean, I think it's a beautiful tool, and I think it has really powerful applications, but fundamentally, the blockchain enables such a tremendous amount of other value propositions that I think moving forward, what we're really going to see is the blockchain being used well beyond financial tools, and that's what we're really focused on right now.
So tell me about Blockchain Capital. What investments have you made, and what investments are you looking to make, and what do you think the venture capital space in general is looking to do right now with this Bitcoin blockchain technology?
Sure. So since the firm's been around for 2 years, I mean, it was first called Cryptocurrency Partners, and so our early investments consisted mostly of cryptocurrency, Bitcoin-focused companies. But now we're looking more towards the non-financial applications of the blockchain, which really fit in well with what I wanted to do in this space.
Give me an example of something you're really excited about.
So the first company I ever brought in, we actually just signed a term sheet with them. It's called Stampery, and it's notarization on the blockchain. And what's really beautiful.
For the uninitiated, what is Anthem Vault?
Thank you, Vin, firstly, for having me on. Anthem Vault is a fintech company. It's a fractional metal ownership platform, so we allow our clients to buy, sell, store parts of a bar or bars. It's a little bit akin to a savings account, but it's a metal savings account. So clients can have the convenience of buying and selling whenever they'd like. They get industrial strength commercial insurance and storage, and they then can have the most liquid way to buy and sell metal.
So essentially, this is a gold-based or gold-backed crypto system.
Yeah, it's a platform, and so that platform enables, that it's a closed platform that enables the open platform of Bitcoin to be utilized as a gold payment system effectively.
So one of the interesting things is that as Bitcoin matures and grows and becomes more used, it's entering a regulated market space. Talk about the challenges of entering a regulated market space with what was traditionally a currency and a technology that you didn't really have to think about those sorts of things.
Yeah, it's I think very challenging in a few different ways. I'd say all the way to a national security interest, because ultimately if the US wants to stay on top of the world in terms of being the world's biggest innovator and really bastion for creativity, we ultimately have to innovate in money, because money touches all things. And I think one of the challenges, as opposed to an Uber or Airbnb, for example, Vin, is that in those cases, if a company violates the law, it's a local civil law. There are penalties. There's no fear of getting thrown in jail. If you violate a U.S. Treasury code, then it's a potentially criminal action, and you can get thrown in jail. So the barrier of entry is tremendously high. It makes it very difficult to innovate. That said, there are a lot of attorney generals out there that are starting to understand, recognize, hey, we want to drive innovation into the state, into our state. It creates jobs. So for companies that are innovative, it seems like there's some open minds out there. So.
All right, and we'll go with this as an exit question. As blockchain technology grows, where are regulators on this? What are they thinking? How open are they to working with this, and where do you think it's going from a regulatory standpoint?
Oh, it's a great question. I think you see a tale of two coasts, right? Where you see the bit license on one side in New York, and then you see the California's financial regulatory groups basically kind of punting and saying, hey, let's wait a little longer before we go into figuring out how exactly we're going to regulate. I think that it's wonderful for regulators to figure out, okay, how are we going to designate? But I think it's really, really important that we learn from the past, and maybe there's some considerations to lower some of those surety bond and fee money transmission licenses in each state. So that way U.S. companies can ensure that we're on top of the FinCEN world and the fintech world.
All right, Blanchard, thank you so much for joining us. It's much appreciated.
Thank you, Ben, for having me. I really appreciate it.
I'm with Matt Commons, CEO of Cambridge Blockchain. Matt, thank you for joining us.
Great to be here.
All right, now what exactly is Cambridge Blockchain?
Cambridge Blockchain is a software company focused on enterprise blockchains. So these are blockchain data structures for financial institutions to transact digital assets. We're an infrastructure company that really sets up the backbone for processing many different types of transactions. Could be securities transactions, stocks and bonds, could be receipts for metal in a warehouse, could be all different types of things. But we focus on the underlying infrastructure issues behind that for our customers to build blockchains.
All right, so right now you're using blockchain technology in an interesting way. You have an alpha, a KYC element to blockchain technology.
Yes, that's correct. We have an identity blockchain that serves as a common method, essentially a private blockchain that will validate who you are, what organization you belong to, and what your trading limits are.
All right, and one last question is, as blockchain technology moves into a more regulated environment, how are regulators responding to it?
Well, I think you're seeing strong interest from regulators in following this. We, as we look out at the future, we don't see just one blockchain that people are going to transact. We see multiple blockchains that are going to be connected together, and regulators are going to play a role in all of that.
Hi, we're here with Robert Kaluza of Billon. Robert, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, what exactly is Billon?
We like to call ourselves also regulated blockchain. We have our own blockchain technology that, however, unlike others, we decided that there is enough of the currencies in the world, so we don't need another currency. So we use blockchain to move traditional currencies, euros, dollars, pounds, Polish zlotys. In order to do so, we need the banking partners. So it's actually banks that are issuing those currencies. So they're encrypting these currencies and delivering it to the user. After it's delivered to the user moves it around between the different applications.
So it's a way to digitize dollars, euros,
Exactly.
Australian dollars, Canadian dollars.
Exactly. We are the banking product, so we are working with banks, not against the banks. And the difference is that it's a banking product that does not need a banking account.
So what happens when this cash is digitized? What are people able to do with it once it's digitized?
We are aiming on unbanked people, mainly the young people. There's a lot of people that are under 18 and they really need the payments for. We are recently integrated with Twitch, where we allow people to collect money on Twitch. Like streamers then can put just very simple 3 buttons. I like it, I love it, donate, and gather the money from their audience.
All right, we're here with Andy Phillipson of BitPay. Andy, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
All right, so let's start with what is BitPay?
BitPay is a merchant payment processor. We allow businesses that we board to accept Bitcoin from consumers and have that Bitcoin then run through our platform and then deposited to their bank account, so we can convert the Bitcoin to US dollars or whatever local currency the merchant accepts.
So basically, merchants that do this, they can accept payments for consumer goods using Bitcoin.
That's correct.
So how popular is the Bitcoin using Bitcoin for consumer payments becoming?
It's increasing in popularity every month, every year. It's a little bit bound to the price of Bitcoin, I think. As the price of Bitcoin increases, you get a wealth effect on consumers that own Bitcoin, so they feel like they have a little bit more spendability in that channel. We continue to see volume upticks every month and every year, and I think our business is doing very well.
So the more valuable Bitcoin is, the more people are willing to spend it.
Yeah, I would say so, absolutely. It certainly is for myself.
So in terms of consumer usage, where is Bitcoin most popular?
The key demographic for Bitcoin users are young, male, between 18 and say 35, high-tech savvy. These are people that are leading edge in technology, that use mobile platforms to conduct all their business, not just commerce. So they're consuming those types of services that matter to them.
One of the cool things about a show like Money 2020 is even though there's a lot of serious business getting done and a lot of work getting done, there's time for some fun. So I went and got a caricature of myself made by a digital artist. They didn't draw this on paper, they did this on a tablet, basically, with a stylus. Now, David, did you get one of these done?
I have one somewhere online, but I haven't had the chance to embarrass myself yet with one in person. But I did get some time in on the arcade machines that they have around here with some Space Invader. So there's a little bit of R&R in between the sessions.
Is there a new high score on the machine?
Not yet, but there might be before this show's over.
And I think I'm going to have to try to beat that. The Space Invaders is my game. All right, that's it for Crypto News Today, powered by Bitcoin Magazine. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you on another episode soon.